Well, well, well. Look who we have here on Wednesday, October 11th at 8:30 at night. This is kind of like our own pop-up show, except we're live here.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that he had a show today until Xavier tagged me into a thread that Radio Gaga made on our site. So thank you both of you for actually knowing this, because you know what? It's a vacation week, and who would think
Uh,
that? But you guys, honestly, you guys called it last week. You did. You called that he would be recording it. You kind of thought that he had actually recorded it already, but
Well,
I think we were all spot on with when Doltage said that he was coming in for something pretty spectacular, and that's what it wound up being. Not only did he go to dinner or go out with Paul Simon, but then he had Keith Richards in this week.
yeah, but
Last
I,
week.
I
So
had signed off on Judy Tenuta's theory that it was actually John Mayer, and now I can't be seen in Syosset for going on record with that. Thank you, Judy. Thank you for embarrassing me up and down for the last week.
did you
I
see
can't
the
show my face.
rumors?
yeah, but
The rumors about John Mayer and
No, it was a guess. It was a great guess by Judy. I thought he was
I
right.
know, but did you see the rumor about John Mayer and
No,
Andy Cohen that they're a couple?
I seen that.
no, please tell me. No, I have
Most
not seen it.
people don't believe it, so I'm good with that too. But apparently, there's like this rumor mill going around that he is actually involved with Andy.
Of course. I mean, hiding in
Yes.
plain sight. These two towel snapping each other and Amic acid 6 months a year. Who doesn't think that? There was already gay rumors about him.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to hear the TikTok about it, I will play it happily, because it did shock me just a little bit. A lot of people have met him or thought that they had no gaydar with him whatsoever,
Uh,
and I'm okay with that too.
Who cares?
I know, but it's so fun to.
it
Yeah,
is. It is fun to
why
emasculate.
not?
It
Why
is a lot
not?
of fun to emasculate.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
If
play
you
that
can't be
for you.
with the one you love the one.
You're with, I guess. I guess. All right,
Your body is a Wonderland was actually by
Okay.
Anderson Cooper.
let me see if I can grab this for us. Hang on.
Fans are saying John Mayer and Andy Cohen have been dating, and it wouldn't really surprise me because they moved in together recently. Not only were they seen at the Pride Festival holding hands,
Oh my
like they're
God.
clearly holding hands, but John Mayer got in good with Andy Cohen's mom because she's steam ironing his shirt. So not only are these two living together, Andy Cohen said, "I am in love with John Mayer. We are in love with each other." And just look at the way Andy looks at John. If that's not love, I don't know what is. And it kind of makes sense because John Mayer was like the ladies' man back in the 2000s. And in Jessica Simpson's book, she said shortly after that they got together, he moved in like immediately. And guess who moved into Andy Cohen's house? John sure did. It explains why John Mayer is like 45 and has never been married, never had any kids, and was such a ladies' man. Maybe he was overcompensating for something. When will
Well, well, well.
Uh,
I mean, Monique is what I say
well,
about
maybe
Pete Davidson, right? The publicist PR
maybe
thing.
Andy can just like suck the chrome off a trailer. I mean,
I
doesn't have to
don't
be.
know. I was interested in that, and I just started following a guy.
So why are we talking about this?
Just because why not?
Because that was Judy Tenuna's guess as to Howard's
Oh, okay.
surprise
Gotcha.
guess, and I thought it was a great guess. I thought
It
it was
was a
really good.
great guess because we thought that John Mayer was in concert last week or something, and
Yeah.
not necessarily that he didn't go see
Okey-dokey.
him, because I would believe that as well. I started following this guy who
I just know I interrupted my nap for Keith Richards and not John Mayer.
I just started
Just
following
saying, you know.
guy who is one of those paparazzi dudes that follows people all over the place, and he had a shit ton of a video from the Ed Sheeran concert. So I kept looking through it, hoping that some of it would be the entry of Howard and Beth to the concert. But lo and behold, it was a lot of like Andy with John and
Yeah.
all these other people. And one of the dudes I know from the Stern show who is tremendous now. I didn't think that he had gotten that big, but I realized that he was in charge of like the VIP list, so he was in all of the videos as well, which I thought was kind of curious. I'm looking for it. Unfortunately, I can't find it, so I'm really sorry, but we digress anyway.
Do
Okay,
we think the
Thanks for
reason
that
John
update.
Mayer
That's
hasn't
fascinating.
hang on. Sorry. What?
do we think the reason John Mayer hasn't actually done the Howard Stern show, lest anyone think he has, he did the birthday show, he did that song and then ran away, is because they're going there. There's no way you could get through an hour and a half interview without not bringing up your sexuality in some way. There's no way to avoid it. And Andy Cohen says, no, stay away.
I kind of
Stay
feel
away.
though John Mayer has had enough of a history to go through that and then be fine perfectly to say, I'm not with anybody right now.
There's nothing interesting
Or
about him
or get
except his
this,
social life.
or get this, it's pointless to be on this Howard Stern show. There's no upside for
that too.
anybody.
There is
If you're
that.
famous, there's no upside to be on that show.
That
I
is-
mean, Shuli's show last week probably has higher ratings than this Keith Richard interview.
Well, let's talk about that. So the reason we're here is because Howard just decided to release his Keith Richards interview. So I'll just show you some receipts right here. So of course, when you saw that the Stern show was on, here it is. Keith Richards live. What it says, live. And yeah, that was a misnomer because yeah. So this is a picture I think also Radio Gaga came up with, which is October 5th. Howard Stern Richards posed for a photo during SiriusXM's The Howard Stern Show at SiriusXM Studios on October 5th. So there's that happy couple.
That's rough.
Yeah. So Keith Richards, I think, is like 78. Howard is going to be 70 in January. Yeah, nobody's buying that hair anymore. I'm sorry. 70 years
He's rock and roll.
70 years old.
Yep.
Nobody believes that shit anymore. Sorry. But yeah, there's the happy couple on the couch. So
His face is like, oh man, it's
brutal.
getting rough.
It
I
is.
gotta tell you, Monique, show business, radio and TV especially, have torn the word live limb from limb to the point where I
Yeah.
don't know what it means anymore. Live
It
to
doesn't
tape,
really mean
and
anything,
they just throw it in whenever they feel like it, and they don't have to,
We-
not accountable for it. I
Yeah.
don't know what live means anymore in show business.
Oh, full disclosure, we recorded this 2 days ago.
Yeah. At least,
Let me give you the intro so that you can hear it. The guy doesn't say live specifically. Let's hear it.
Today is Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. From the Howard Stern Studios at Sirius XM in New York City, this is a Howard Stern special presentation.
See, so notice that he doesn't really say anything about it being live or not or whatever.
It's very ambiguous, very nebulous.
Very, very ambiguous.
any guess on who voiced that over?
That's probably one of their guys that they have there. You know what
New
I
York
mean?
accent.
It's probably just like the local dude that's in the.
Yeah, he's right.
Nobody of any note, I don't think. So let us see. So the way it was
He's
revealed
terrible. Here we go.
in terms of the Stern show was here. Let's take a look at this really quickly. Hang on. So on the Twitter machine, here is Howard talking to
Do you
him.
play every day? In other words, are you still so passionate about guitar that like it's part of your blood and part of your life?
I pick it up just about every day.
And to this day, after all your years,
So he has such a vibe, obviously, Keith.
It's Keith Richards.
And you can tell it's the afternoon too, Monique. Everyone's lucid. It's a better energy. You can tell in him it's the afternoon.
Absolutely. So unlike the Stern show of normal, there are 1, 2, 3. See, notice it all says October 11th. Do you see what's going
Yeah.
on down here?
Good forensics work.
October 11th, 2023. It's not. So we all know this. 4.
You sound like Bill Maher right there.
So 5 right now, and then 6. This was promoting Wednesday morning. Howard Stern interview. See, Wednesday morning he interviews the one and only Keith Richards. Wednesday morning.
Bunch of lying scumbags.
And
So
hearing Keith's voice, there's no way he's up at that time. There's not a shot in hell he's getting up. I actually have a clip that he hates the morning, and that's from years ago, but nevertheless, there's no way in hell he's getting up. He's way too lucid. The energy's too good. Howard sounded different. Howard's voice never sounded more chiclet teeth, slooshing and swashing
oh,
and
but
vocal
Keith also
fried.
Keith has a way of talking where everything he says kind of ends with like a
Yeah.
and it's just so weird. And I get that a Keith Richards at this point in his life, incredibly successful human being, right? Probably one of the most known rock and roll superstars that there is.
He's kind of like the Larry David of the Rolling Stones because many feel he's actually the brains behind it and he writes all the songs and doesn't get the credit for it, and you know him. And so I that the theory is that he's the Larry David of the Rolling Stones
I'll
to Mick Seinfeld.
I'll give you that, except for the fact that Keith has been as prominent and as visual as Mick, their entire lives, their entire radio lives, right, or concert lives. So
For the most part, yeah.
Larry
I mean,
David, he didn't even know he existed until he did the Larry David show. Let's be honest. I mean, he wasn't really part of our world. He wasn't part of the Seinfeld thing. We didn't realize who he was. Put it that way.
I knew who he was, but it was when he became prominent. He became, because of Curb, his name became almost as big as Jerry's at a certain point. But
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I certainly see what you mean. He definitely was not on our optics until about 2001. Larry David.
Exactly. Okay, so let me tell you how it's going to go tonight. We're obviously not going to play the entire conversation, obviously, because we can't. So what I've done is I've just kind of done a little pick and choose. I don't think there's anything you really need to know about Keith that we didn't know about. So that's all I got. So we just picked and choose some spots just to kind of give you an idea as to what it was like and what Howard was like today. So let's get started. Dennis is running a little bit late. He had something to do tonight. And since we decided to do the show very spur of the moment, he was already out. So he'll probably be about 15, 20 minutes late, just in case.
Gurgle.
Gurgle. All right, here we go. Here's Howard.
I'm really nervous right now, honestly. I'm going to be honest with you. I am sitting in our new, in our Manhattan studios.
Our new
You.
I know.
You.
I came in because Keith Richards was here. There was no way I wanted to talk to him on Zoom. I wanted to sit in the room with the man. And I am, I'm nervous. Here we go.
I'm nervous and I'm not even there.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, okay. So once again, Robin is denied. And here's the funny thing. So here it is. They're recording this on October 5th, which was what day?
6 days ago, so it would be a Tuesday.
No.
Well, was he Thursday? Didn't they say he was going to be in special surprise?
Oh, 6 days. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Thursday.
Oh,
Yes,
something like
Thursday.
that? I mean,
God, let me look at the calendar. How do we not know this?
Oh, we suck.
October 5th is Thursday. So
there you go.
You would think now that a lot of the guys are, off on their way to the wedding, taking a holiday. Everybody knows it's vacation time. So there probably weren't going to be a lot of people around. So you would think if there was ever a time that it would be okay for Robin to come in, it would have been that, since there wasn't a lot of people in. So you would think that it would be okay for her to come in. But alas, it's still not okay. It's still not.
You know how hard it is to move those iron lungs, bro?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so here's Howard again, just talking about how excited he is about the whole thing.
Like, this is maybe the most excited I've been, except for when I'm having sex. This guy means the world to me.
Funny you would say that, because I swear to God, that wasn't how you felt. Oh, I don't know, not that long ago. As a matter of absolute fact, Johnny had sent me.
Yeah.
Johnny had sent me this Mark's friggin' post.
And thanks to Boff, I got the actual audio for today.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah, I got matched it up. It's actually worse than I thought, than I read.
So let me just
He
pull
used to crap on Keith all the time.
I could find. I didn't have time.
Even
I
as
could
a
have gone
casual
through.
listener,
It was frustrating because I want to go through so much to find the other stuff. I mean, he had. Didn't he goof on them for not donating to charity? There was a press conference with the
You know what?
Stones, and they.
The vibe always against Keith has been, what are you doing? Not taking every penny you can.
Yeah.
Why are you arguing with Mick when you can just be taking this ungodly amount of money? That's always been the vibe.
So here, more Christmas party discussions from 12/16/1988. Blah, 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 blah. They were supposed to have a mystery guest today, but their program director, Pat, failed to come through with it. It was supposed to be Keith Richards, but it fell through. That led to Howard talking about this guy, Dale Parsons, who they used to work for. He said working for made him sleepy with a new PD makes him look more exciting. I don't know what they're talking about. Howard said that Pat is really cute. She'll line up guests for them, and it just doesn't happen. He said she tells them about trying to get a guest and then it'll fall through. Gary told Howard that Pat always has the same excuse for every guest that falls through. She'll blame management and the fact that it's really early in the morning to get up. Howard said that he had some good questions for Keith Richards, and he was even willing to take a call from the guy. So magnanimous of you. Just call him. Yeah. He said he would have been nice to him, but now he's thinking that he's just a, quote, pock-marked dickhead.
It's even worse because when you play it, he basically says, "You're nothing without Mick Jagger. You can't." So they need the Stern Show because apparently Keith Richards can't sell out seats for his solo act. They claim Gary comes in and says it's half full, and they can't sell it out. So he needs to shill for tickets to show.
Wow.
So it's pretty crazy.
Wow. Okay, so we are going to get to that, but we're going to go through today's clips first. And so here's when Keith first walks in. Of course, Howard is completely fanboying. It's like gross.
Watch your step, Keith. Oh, this is scary. I'm
You
shaking.
don't believe how scary it could get.
I gotta just take you in.
Really?
That's. Oh my God! Let me soak you in. Let me soak you in. Oh my God.
Oh God.
So he starts extolling the virtues of Keith, Keith, and then this stupidity happens, which I love.
No, a friend
Billy
of mine.
wants my groove, you know.
Yeah.
But I ain't selling, baby. You know.
Hold on, I'm turning my phone off. Well, this is terrible.
Oh, this is good.
My
You got this. Good.
son-in-law calling me. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Tell him to fuck off.
Let me turn this the fuck off. I'm waiting for you my whole life. My son-in-law's calling me.
Well, first off, do you hear Keith? I mean, this is his grumble
No, a
the
friend of mine.
entire
For you
time.
my whole life. My son-in-law's calling me.
So you'll hear that throughout the entirety of the conversation, just this grumble that he does. But how does Howard, Radio 101, not know to shut off his freaking phone?
He gets a call from A-Wine.
Who?
A-Wine, Adam Weinstein. We call him A-Wine.
Yeah, you know why? Because he's not used to being in like a studio anymore.
He's not used to having to. Yeah,
his decorum is just completely just garbage at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
come
yeah,
on.
he started that. He
He also doesn't know how to use his phone. I think he needs Ralph to program his phone for him.
You're
John
know what?
Hine.
You're probably right,
He
Meryl.
doesn't. He
Oh
literally
my
is
God!
so.
Shut off, shut on. I mean, put on. How is that hard?
He
to do?
can't even do that, Monique. He can't even do that.
Lower the volume.
He's that disabled. He is that inept with the ways of mundanity. He can't even do that.
So Keith starts talking about his and Keith has grandchildren. I mean, he's 79 for God's sakes, or whatever he is.
And proud of it. Yes.
Yeah. So here's the conversation about grandchildren.
But I know I'm lucky here.
I have a granddaughter too, and aren't you blown away by how moved you are by that experience? Did you expect that?
I have a few granddaughters, but it never stops to amaze me.
So he's blown away by his granddaughter. Like, is this? How often has he even seen her? I mean,
I don't know where to start with this. As everybody knows, it is the G word. It is persona non grata to bring up Howard's granddaughter. We harp on it all. This may be the third time total, and it has been. We have gotten copyright strikes for doing this.
And he's had her like dumped from the show whenever it gets mentioned.
Twice,
remember,
at least.
Remember the whole.
We've had our show kicked off because of it.
Do you remember the whole Robin? You just outed me when he got confused about granddaughter.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you just outed me. I have a granddaughter, and she's like, what are you talking about? I was talking about your daughter. And then like replay later, completely gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Well, let's do the math.
And they also kicked us in the stick just to be dicks, and they totally hit a copyright or whatever they did with us.
Aaron Taylor nails it. He actually worded it better than I would have thrown together. Howard is desperate to connect with Keith, so he hears the granddaughter thing and he blurts it out because it's the only way he'll ever bring that up is in the presence of a dinosaur rocking royalty or any A-list. That is the only time you're going to hear that. If he can relate to the A-lister.
He's an older guy because
Yes.
that's where he gets a little simpatico. We get it. So
but your point, Monique, is you made Keith Richards going into all these anecdotes of how he plays with his granddaughter and all the great things they do together. Howard's got nothing. He's just like, yeah, I got a granddaughter too. If Keith threw that back at him and said, oh, what do you do with your granddaughter? I would have loved to have heard him fumble through that because it's not. I think he's seen her maybe twice.
And they could have 1,000% deleted that if it was in fact something that was on there.
It might still be deleted
because
give it time to marinate.
It wasn't live. So they could have done anything they wanted to that interview. And, it was at some point Howard mentioned that, when they had their conversation, he said, if there's anything I don't want to answer, I'm just going to tell you I don't want to answer it. And that's it.
By the way, thank you, Bong Blow, because this is vintage Bong Blue. Yes, we got channel deleted for bringing that up. It was so strong. It was so verboten. Our channel got deleted because of that topic.
Yes.
Thank you, Bong Blue.
Yes, with many, many, many more listeners than Julie has ever had. But okay, such is life. And then somebody stole our name, and I keep fighting them, and I can't get it back. So it's kind of weird. Hence the reason we were Radio Gunk 100. Okay, so then Howard's going to insist about Keith and his father because everything has to come back to the father, as you know. So let's hear that.
I know you had a tough life growing up. Your father left you when you were young.
By the way, that's none of us breathing. That's Keith. So you just need to know that that's him. So I'm just going to play it again so you can all hear it in your headphones because it's
79
so
sounds. It looks like.
I know it's so bizarre though. Okay, here we go. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Oh, you muzzleless bastard! Give me a second. Why are you not playing for me?
I know you had a tough life growing up. Your father left you when you were young.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He left you. You didn't know you thought he was home.
He was just
the fake laughing is through the roof.
Yeah, so it's like, no, my dad didn't leave me. What are you talking about? So he didn't really get it. I'll play the other clip that actually goes with that because it was just kind of silly that he kind of went back to it again.
We've brought this up before. So when you have the dinosaur rocker on, the iconic dinosaur rocker, what percentage of the questions are copy and pasted from Neil Young and Paul Simon and Springsteen and Mick Jagger?
What's the one
80%?
The ones that he asks, the ones that are supposed to be very off the cuff and extemporaneous, right? He's the one who comes up with those kind of questions.
And
I think the ones that have to do with like music and history and his life and stuff like that are definitely the ones that are written by the team, if you will. But they seem to get shit wrong all the time. Here's the second one about the dad. This is just later on because who cares?
I don't know if you know it, but your dad wasn't around a lot, right?
No, he was. He worked a lot. That's all.
Is that it?
Yeah. I mean, I would only see him from 7 in the evening till 10, and then he went to bed, and that was about it. But no, believe me, my old man was a fucking solid guy, and he ended up with his last 20 years living with me. And
oh, so your father lived with you. So you were actually such a solid son that you had your dad live with you for the last 20 years of his life, something Howard would never do.
If you close your eyes, he could be talking about Ben Stern there.
Yeah,
It couldn't be because his father
Without the living with, I'm saying before that, everything he said, the hours he kept, he's a solid guy, all up until he's living with. And it threw Howard so much he didn't know how to equate, because you'd
you
think he
know,
would go, oh,
it
that's
just
what my dad did.
seems, and I could be full of crap, that he wants someone to be like he is, or at least in his
Of
head.
course, he
He
projects
doesn't
on
want to be the
everybody.
only victim. He wants to. You know what? Here's the funny thing: if Keith would have said, "Yeah, you're right. He's a piece of crap. He never did this." But guess what? Keith's still leading a great freaking life. What about you, bro? You know,
Yeah, but
even if
also,
Keith wasn't who
He's
he
trying
thought
to
he
break
was,
stories. He's trying to break stories.
Also,
exactly. But I
you
don't
would
even know that at
never
this point.
you would never hear Keith say, "Yeah, my dad was a dickhead.
Yeah.
He had his own, he
Exactly.
had his own money. I can't believe I had to shell out for him in his later years." And
I
all
told him to shut up and sit down.
the shit that Howard gives us to say, his father was such a horrible human being, and Keith's like, "Yeah, he worked a lot, so okay."
As
it's
every
okay.
dad did of that generation.
Every dad worked their asses off.
Yeah,
Kind of
Howard
insanity.
wants to think. He wants to be like one of those orphans from the 1800s. He wants to get on that railroad cart and
Exactly.
Mr.
Shovel
Independent,
coal.
self-made. When in fact his dad Penny, he flipped the bill for him the majority of his adult life.
Everything.
But Howard hates that.
Yes.
He wants so desperately to not have had his father's help.
He also too, when
pains
you're
him.
interviewing a celebrity, they're always looking for an angle to try to break a story so he could leak it, so Leslie Darr can leak it to the outlets.
It's Keith
And
Richards,
you
bro.
can't just go, no, I had a great childhood, it was normal,
Yeah.
nothing crazy. You're not allowed to say that. You have to have some crazy histrionic, haunting trauma that goes with it, and you're
Exactly.
not allowed in a celebrity interview to just go, no, I was just a normal kid and I picked guitar up later because I was bored, and that's it. There's no great story, there's no pathos, there's nothing. You're
Yeah,
not allowed to say that on the show.
Sorry to not kill you with like a story about how horrible my life was.
Yes.
And he like, how about throwing that back in his face? He says he lived with me for 20 years again, like great freaking life. It's like where Howard was literally urinating on his dad on his deathbed.
Exactly.
Well, he's
And
supposed
we
to
literally
shame
have
him for that,
audio of
though.
it.
Howard's supposed to shame Keith Richards for doing that. Go, oh my God, that must be the worst thing in the world. Your dad's a pain in the ass. But back in the day, if this were any lesser musician, he would have gone off on him for letting his dad live with him. It would have been the worst thing in the world you could do. The world
Yeah,
will
how
as
can you let
teenager.
him live with you? What's wrong
Yeah.
with you? Why wouldn't you put him in a
Yes.
home? What goes on there?
Yes.
So, unfortunately, this clip is only 13 seconds long. I cannot remember what it is that led into this, and then I just couldn't find it going back again. But I think Keith was talking about, maybe he was talking about the strings on his guitar. Not really sure, but let's hear it, and you can hear what Keith said to him.
Canvas, and when to use it is that gives you the 3D on the thing,
Now I understand. I like to do
just like that. You understand?
No, you know what you just explained to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He's like, what are you talking about? I just gave you like a simple answer to a simple question, and all of a sudden you think you have a complete understanding about how it was about how he plays the guitar, and he's, sometimes he takes off one string and stuff like that. And
It was almost like this fake wig epiphany he has in the middle of Richards explaining that to him. It was like a melodramatic reaction to a question he has no idea. And why wasn't, we talked about this before we went on, Fred running point on this interview, because this is his ballywick if ever there was one.
Right.
And you got nothing from Fred. I mean, if ever he's supposed to step up, this is the time.
yep, but he can't. He
But
can't.
he can't.
He's not
He's
allowed.
not allowed to.
Robin gave in like a laugh here and there, or a oh, or a ah, or something like that. But that was pretty much
Yes.
it. I want to segue just really, really quickly right this moment and tell you all that I watched the 3-part Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary on Netflix, and it was fabulous. It was really well done.
Did they bring up the
Amazing.
scandals?
Yes.
Okay. He owned the
100%.
scandal.
Just faced it.
Unlike
owned
Howard.
it. Even showed Joseph, his son, and him
Oh,
working
he's super proud of us. He's super proud of him.
is he ever? And it was phenomenal. Part 1 is about like the bodybuilding thing. Part 2 is about being an actor, and then part 3 was him being a governor. And
Monique, isn't Chris Pratt dating his daughter, or married to his daughter?
He is. They just had a
From
kid.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Star
Yeah, he
Lord?
just had a kid with him.
Oh, is that the daughter he's married to?
Chris Pratt, yes.
Yeah, the really like Kennedy looking one.
Like a little horsey face, yeah?
I've never got a good look at her. I don't know. I assume she's
Somebody
attractive.
let us know. I'm not really sure
Well,
that that's Arnold's daughter.
Since we're talking about it, if anybody wants to hear like a real interview, check out the Conan O'Brien podcast with Arnold. It's hysterical.
I'm sure he's great in it.
It is hysterical. You should listen. to it.
Tamara says
If you're
it
into
is.
that stuff.
I mean, just everything about Arnold just makes you appreciate his drive. I mean, that's it. His drive to be the best and do something that one would think is insurmountable for like a goon bodybuilder who can barely speak the language. And yeah, it's good. Oh, Sin Lu, I would like to watch the David Beckham documentary as well. I will definitely watch that as well. Oh, it is his daughter with Maria Shriver. All right, see, you guys know. And they have Tamara says he has 3 kids. Okay, see, now we know. All right, and then so Keith starts talking about flamenco guitar. Tell me why Howard says this.
I tell you what, if you can learn this little Spanish thing, this flamenco thing called Malaguena.
Of course.
If you can.
Of course. Of course, you know what Malaguena is? Like, in any world, is that something that you know anything about? They're so desperate to have some sort of bond with him.
That's when someone uses a really big word, you just go along with it, and you don't know what it means. The guy was so truculent and recalcitrant. Exactly.
Nod, yes.
I heard Howard Cosell say that once. That's how I know it.
Truculent is a great word. I love that so much. Thank you.
Gathered in osmosis.
So then then Keith is talking about his mom singing around the house, and of course Howard has to be Howard. Here we go.
My mum used to sing all over the house, so there was music in the air, you know what I mean, whether you liked it or not.
Right. And it was probably shitty music, right? You probably
she
didn't
was
love
actually great.
She was good.
Yeah.
She had good musical taste.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's like, no, she wasn't shitty. And what is it about his mother? Like,
oh,
it's just weird. It's just so weird.
Rick the
did he ask Keith about his mom's bush?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I know, right? That would be Rick the
Just,
electrician
just
and
checking.
Tamara had a great point about just fathers and why. Which is it? Your dad works too much, so he's not there, or if he doesn't work enough, then he's a lazy son of a bitch who didn't give me enough money, and he's not there. Which is it? What do you want with the father now? If he works too much, he's not there for me, but if he doesn't work enough, he's a slacking, lazy piece of shit. That's always the narrative in that. It's whichever it is to make him look better, and to make him look like a victim.
Yes, of course. All right, so we're gonna move on. Hello, Dennis.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, just splendid.
Ah, jeez. Okay, you good?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. It's just it's been one of those days.
Dennis, you have that passive-aggressive mafia hitman smile on right now. at the social
Absolutely.
club with it.
Shit-eating grin. Shit-eating grin.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Anything you want to
Could you imagine the curses Dennis let out when he found out Howard was on today and we're doing this?
What, he was on today?
How much fun Dennis was having before
Oh,
this.
you didn't know he was on today?
A
Did
recording.
you see me post anything?
No.
No.
That I didn't know and didn't care.
No, we didn't know either, honestly.
Nor should you, Dennis.
None of us knew.
You know, nobody knew he was on. Yeah, all 5 people.
We called an audible.
Yeah, we called an audible and said,
So-
okay, let's do it.
all 5 people listening. You know.
All 5 people. But you know,
Yes.
it's interesting. I mean, people really came after me on Twitter about it. It's like, oh, who cares if he's live or not? At least we got an interview with Keith Richards. It's like,
yeah.
So that's what that was.
No, I
Alex.
agree with that, Monique, but we said it 1,000 times in the show. We have our receipts. Then admit you're not live. You don't need to be live.
He
There's
wasn't
nothing
live.
about
I
this show. Go ahead, then.
But you know, there's like I said, that interview was already done when they
We
made
know
that
that.
phone
Yeah,
call.
we did.
Yes, he was
But-
telling
So-
Yeah, you guys were 100% spot
Done.
on.
You know, I mean, but why put it on today when nobody's gonna?
It
friggin'
makes
hear
no
it?
sense.
He thinks
It
he's
makes
cool,
zero
Dennis. He's dropping a bomb on you.
You know,
Like,
it's
look
so
at me.
weird
I'll do
to
whatever I
defend
want.
it. It's like, you know, if you want to be unusual and different, do it on like Friday or do it on
Right.
Saturday or do it sometime where people are home and
And promote it. How about promote it too? How about
Yeah,
actually
no
promoting it?
promotion at all. No
He's
promotion.
such a dandruff dunderhead. He thinks he's playing chess with the audience that way. Oh God, which way is he
He's
gonna
so
go? You're, God, Howard moves in
He's the smartest-
mysterious ways.
He's the smartest man in the closet. You know that.
Exactly. All right, so then he moves on and starts talking about how when they were younger, they would write music for other musicians, and so he started to play a bunch of that kind of music.
What?
Then yeah, they used to before they were successful.
Oh, Keith Richards. I thought you were talking about
Yeah.
Howard. I'm like,
No, they wrote music for other groups and things like that, and so they came out with a song that they had done for Marian Faithfull, and he says this about it.
You know, the first song, As Tears Go By, even, really, you wrote that for Marianne Faithfull, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not for the Stones. And she kind of fucked it up. I mean, compared to the Stones version.
She got it into the top 10, maybe.
She did.
Yeah, and he's like, no, she didn't fuck it up. She got it into the top 10, something that we couldn't have done. So yeah, you know, he just constantly got it wrong today. It's just
Stick
kind
to
of,
Marianne from Brooklyn, you poser.
yeah. So then he starts asking him a question about something or another, and of course he has to do like the little name drop because this is what he did on Wednesday night as opposed to Thursday, which, as we all presume, that when Beth said something spectacular is happening next week, it was that he was interviewing Keith Richards.
What a goon.
well, no, he was playing the interview from Keith Richards. He already
No,
had done
no.
the interview for Richards.
No. Last week, when Beth said, when we come
Yeah.
in, you're doing something spectacular, it
Right.
was the interview.
Right. It was last week he did the interview, and they played it today for no apparent
Yes,
reason.
thank you, The Drew Show. If the Howard Stern Show was live, they could have talked about how the Momoa showed up on set dressed as Johnny Depp demanding Amber Heard's firing. I'm so lost now in the Sterniverse.
I don't want that Aquaman. I don't want that Aquaman who are keeping my fucking name out of his goddamn mouth. Shut the fuck up, Momoa. No, that is a story that's going around now, Rodney. I'm certainly going to tackle it this week. It's so bizarre. I don't believe it actually.
So that actually really did happen.
No, that's
happened,
yeah,
right?
that's a gossip that was leaked.
Jesus. Wow. Yeah, so he definitely wasn't live because that is something you would talk about because that is a pretty
Yeah,
big
Dennis,
gossip.
Dennis, not only did we establish that he wasn't live, but there are pictures from October 5th in studio, Howard and Keith.
Wow.
So
Herbert Arnold goes, "Hey, why not let the fans call in?" Herbert, they haven't taken a call for a guest in 9 years since Marcy came along.
This was last week on October 5th. See, Keith Richards visits Sirius XM on October 5th. So yes, we did establish that it was
Wow.
last week, Thursday.
Nice metadata, Monique.
Oopies.
Oopsie daisy.
Oopsies, you
70
wig.
employees and nobody thought to scrub that.
No,
Nobody.
no.
You wig fraud.
Getting things done. Structure.
Sure.
And then we were also talking about how when you went on to look at Sirius, it had Keith Richards live.
Oh my dear Christ.
So they didn't
Oopies.
necessarily say it when they were doing the introduction, but they certainly insinuated that it was live. Okay, so then, let's talk about him name dropping about the night before. Here we go.
Keith, I'm going to point something out to you that a
All
very
right.
famous musician who I was with last night said to me, bring this up to Keith. He said, Keith is now the person saying this was Paul Simon.
Paul.
Genius. He says,
Yeah, whatever it was. But of course, name drop that it was Paul Simon that he was talking about Keith Richards with because he wanted to glean some information from him.
No,
Do you
no
think
hyperbole.
that
Hold
either
on.
one of those guys gives a crap about each other?
No, absolutely not.
None.
No,
There's
absolutely not.
zero chance.
John?
No hyperbole. We know we joke about how stupid Beth is. What are the chances? And you brought her up when she doesn't know who Keith Richards is. I'm not
Who?
even kidding.
Beth?
Doesn't know
Oh,
who
he's
Keith
probably
Richards
been
is.
talking about this for weeks. He's probably been trying to set
Yeah,
that.
but
All right.
But initially she doesn't know who he is.
I
You know
can't.
what?
I can't fathom that.
You know what?
I think
I
she's
don't know.
that out of
I
touch
think
with
that
music.
I think that even after talking about him for 2 weeks, it doesn't know who he is.
Still doesn't quite grasp
Yeah,
who he is.
no.
like
Where
she kind
would
of
she
gets
know
this
him
general
from?
idea who he is, but has zero clue.
Right.
about
Where
anything
would
to
she
do with
know
it.
him from, or where would she
I
have
think-
seen him?
Remember, this is the person that used whiteout on their screen for Word. Okay, so
Oh, it's so bad, Dennis. Howard took Beth's brothers and Beth to a Rolling Stones concert in 2002, and I bet you she still doesn't know who he is.
Oh no,
Oh,
absolutely
I
not.
guarantee it.
You guys are so crazy. What is wrong with
It's
you?
stupid.
She's so not tapped
You know
in,
what, Mo?
Monique.
Frozen.
It's
Normally
not
I
in
would
her
say,
ballywick.
normally I would say that's impossible, but this broad, the
Remember-
bulb's a little dim, bro.
Yes, she is dim. Yes, she is a dim.
She's
Frozen,
not in the
frozen
Hamptons.
pizza heated.
Yes.
Okay, frozen pizza
Yes.
heated.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's not interrupting her scouting Paris. So let's continue.
Yes,
Like
yes,
Paula
yes,
Abdul is her Keith Richards.
exactly. But- yeah, okay. That's like not knowing who Bono is. Like I just can't
She's-
fathom that you wouldn't know who this person is. I
She
mean,
didn't know who Bono is either. Are you
She
kidding me?
might not know that either.
You might not know that either.
She's not the deepest thinker, bro.
no, I know. Okay, so then Howard starts to relay a story to Keith Richards about Keith Richards. It's my longest clip. I mean, it's not that long. So Howard is live to tape. Mr. Podcasts are garbage is live to tape now. Yes,
Yeah, we talked about that before, Rodney, how live doesn't mean anything anymore.
live doesn't mean anything. It's all
I
nebulous.
don't know what the word means anymore in
Jesus.
show business.
All right, here we go.
You can go to a party with Keith Richards, and he'll act like he's like kind of out of it
He's saying somebody told him this. Okay, just so that you know what we're talking about.
because he doesn't want you bothering him. It's his way of getting away from people. That a lot of what people think you are high or you're, out of it, it's a bit of a protection piece.
To me, it's very interesting what other people think.
What do you think about what I've just
I
said?
What I think, I don't give a shit what other people think.
You don't.
Oh.
It's not true. In other words,
I don't. I never put on an act in my life. If I appear to be stoned on a couch, I'm probably stoned on a couch.
There you go. Shut the F up.
Yeah, so somebody tells him like some little quip about Keith Richards sitting on a couch. And I'm sure you can almost hear
Whitney
Howard
Cummings.
just talking to all of his stupid little friends out in the Hamptons about
I was just going to ask you that,
That's
Monique. So
idiotic.
what's
Why
the
would
deal
Keith Richards pretend to be anything?
No, he
He's
doesn't
Keith
want it.
Richards.
Yes, of
What's
Keith
course.
Richards?
Stupid.
What's the deal with the selective anonymity? Okay, so he's
It's
name
so
dropped
stupid.
already during this. Paul Simon and Billy Joel and McCartney. So what's with the selective it doesn't exist, or he's making it up? Who are we talking about here that said this? He's protecting the identity of this guy, but we've already
It's
name dropped
fake.
5.
'Cause it's
So it's
fake.
probably fake, right?
Yeah, it's
It has
fake.
to be fake. It has to be fake. That's it.
It's always Howard Stern projecting onto really
Exactly.
famous people his idiotic way of looking at life.
Bingo. Spot on.
Exactly.
He wants them to be like him so desperately.
Yes.
What did
Dennis, you missed the
absolute-
they brought the grandkid up before
Are
in
you
order to relate.
serious?
I swear to God, only for Keith. Howard, he he was trapped and he was like, I'm just like you. I have a granddaughter, and he blurted. I guarantee it's cut from the
But
replay.
Keith actually has seen his granddaughter.
He's proud
He
of his kid,
yes,
man.
And he's
yes,
proud of
that
his
he
granddaughter.
embraced it,
Hold
gave
on,
anecdotes
I'll-
about it.
I'll play it for you.
But I know I'm lucky here.
I have a granddaughter too. And aren't you blown away by how moved you are by that experience? Did you expect that?
I have a few granddaughters, but
Yeah.
it never stops to amaze me.
Yeah, he loves them. I mean, obviously.
And Howard
Obviously,
doesn't-
unlike
doesn't-
Howard.
Yeah.
Unlike Howard.
Suffice to say, Dennis, he doesn't grab the baton and give his own anecdote about his granddaughter.
No. Oh my God, I found the TikTok I was looking for. What was it I was looking for you guys before?
John Mayer.
Everybody walking into the Hamptons thing.
Oh,
But
the concert for
The concert, but-
Frodo.
Sadly, Howard wasn't in it, but I do
Oh,
have
damn.
some funny ones that I do want to show you. So first off, Andy Cohen walks like a weirdo. Like he walks like
Oh, we're back to
Well,
this again?
Affected walk.
totally.
Well,
Wait,
Yep.
here we go. Let
I
me
He
know.
just-
might
noticed
be a
that
little
too.
sore.
Dennis.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks, man.
Take care. Have a good day.
Dear God.
So Monique, that's Main Street, Ground Zero, East Hampton, right? Where that
Yes,
East
yes,
Main
of
is,
course.
right?
Yes, of course it is. And
Thanks for that, Mo.
yeah, you're welcome. And then the other
That really
one,
made my day.
the other one I wanted to show you. Let me see: Gwyneth, Christy Brinkley, Brooke Shields,
Christy Brinkley showed up.
Robert Kraft, James Corden,
Yeah, this is the
Sheeran.
Hamptons who's who.
Oh
No,
yeah,
this
they
is the
were
Ed
all-
Sheeran concert, right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
So Christy Brinkley's there and Billy.
Good, Andy. Good to see you, man. Thank you, sir.
How you doing?
Good.
Okay, great.
Andy Cohen's there.
John Mayer looks like a little weird, no?
He is a little weird.
So everybody go in through the side door. And then there was another one I found kind of a little bit weirdly fascinating that I need to show you. Sorry, but you know what? Screw these people. They're all such assholes. I hate them all so very much. I wanted to show you Bon Jovi.
Oh, he looks like my
Okay.
he looks like my Aunt Mary.
Oh, he does. Wait till you see him.
Jesus.
So they caught him like jogging in the Hamptons.
Oh,
Jogging.
Yeah, and it's just so weird.
Did he wear a scarf jogging?
I wonder what Bon Jovi's favorite song is.
I don't care.
I met a gin-soaked barroom queen in Memphis.
All right, I can't find it.
Jamie Lee Jovi. Little buddy,
Yeah.
that's great.
All right. So then after that, here just comes some rapid fire questions and stupid.
Oh, I can't wait.
That Howard came out with. So these are
Cock,
all
cock,
really
cock,
quick.
cock, cock, cock.
These are all really quick clips. So let's just go through some stupidity.
You got it. In a band, you got to have drums, right? You got it.
Yeah, of course.
You got to have drums in a band.
Wow, that was deep.
Wow, that's deep, man. You gotta have the drums.
Yeah,
No
but-
shit, really? You have that rhythm. Wow.
Is that Matt Pinfield asking that question? Jeez.
Yes,
I mean, that's almost like that's actors level studio.
Yes,
He
Question.
clearly wasn't talking to Depeche Mode.
clearly. Let's see, I might have this in the wrong order, but give me a
All
second.
right, listen, you're fantastic. Thank you for doing this.
All right, that's the sign off. Let me take that down to the bottom here. Here's some grumples from him, which are also weird.
I think it was that, and then I stole his old lady, which didn't help. You know.
By the way, explain that to me in rock and roll.
He did it the whole interview.
Have you ever wanted what Abraham Lincoln at Disneyland sounds like when they shut him down at the end of the night?
I mean, literally, it sounds like Keith Richards just ran out of steam.
Oh! Here we go again. Here's another
It
one.
sounds like the carburetor's not gaining enough fuel, bro.
Here we go. Here we go.
Let's see about a few things.
Well, Brian didn't.
It literally sounds like when you're trying to start the car and it goes. Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's how I imagine if Yoda was in the toilet and was constipated.
It's all makeup and grunting. Yes, exactly.
Makeup and grunting.
Oh, that's so funny to me. I'm sorry, I have to find it again.
I think it was that, and then I stole his old lady, which didn't help. You know.
By the way, explain that to me in rock and roll.
It's like insanity to me. That's what he sounds like. I love it.
I like how Howard's not listening at all, so he doesn't even understand. He can't even
No,
respond.
and he barreled right through this interview. With nothing going on. Nothing at all.
Because it's so rote and so automatous. John Hine, right? Automaton. And by the numbers, he doesn't know how to segue or improvise in interviews anymore. He's completely lost the ability. And I'll be the first to admit there's no better interviewer than 90s Howard. No better interviewer. The
Rupert
best.
Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Rupert Pumpkin. He's like my uncle falling asleep on the sofa after Thanksgiving dinner.
Exactly.
When we gonna have the pub?
It sounded like a Hellcat with a dead hole.
All right, so we are trying to wrap up part one. Hang on.
And I don't know. I mean, who are you hanging with these days? You got any friends, or are you a recluse?
Okay.
Wow.
He was so wanting to say recluse.
He's already on his way out the door, and this is
Keith, by the way, for the record, Keith lives in an 8,000 square foot home in Connecticut.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, 8,000 feet's too small.
Oh, I bet he doesn't have any chimneys either. Because
I bet he doesn't.
That's for the
No
piker. All right,
FYI.
here we are, still trying to wrap up.
Prince, musical genius, yes?
Prince is fantastic. man.
Fantastic.
he's dead.
Wrap up number 3. Here we go.
Do you eat lunch?
I work it off.
Do you eat lunch?
When it's around.
Okay.
Wow.
Do you eat lunch? Really? These are actor studio questions, right? I mean,
Yes. Yes.
James Lipton
Well,
uses
earned
it
it.
all the time.
He's a great guy. And,
You're a billionaire. Why not?
Yeah, but
Are you uncomfortable being wealthy?
Oh.
What?
Yeah, this is how the
What?
interview went. This is how the interview went. Here
Is
we
this
go.
like the worst
horrible.
interview in the history
Horrible.
of mankind?
Horrible. Here's some more.
This
Bob Dylan, genius? Yes.
Oh yeah,
John Lennon was a genius.
John. Yes.
Paul McCartney,
Paulie, Macca. Yeah, absolutely.
Jimmy Page.
Great guitar player.
I haven't seen softballs like that.
No, now you're like pushing things out. Oh, sorry, Jim, you're not a genius.
I
Our
haven't seen
pony's
softballs
pretty.
like that since Ralph Macchio in Beer League.
How
Hey
crazy.
Keith,
Do
our
you like
our pony's
water?
pretty.
Yeah.
All
Do
right.
you like to hydrate?
Here we are.
Do you like to hydrate? Exactly.
Slaughtering time at the end of the interview. That's what I call this. Here we
It's
go.
John Lovitz a genius.
Did you ever get
LD,
COVID?
that's fun.
Are you hearing the grumble?
Did you ever get? Did you ever get COVID?
No, man, no.
You didn't get me neither.
No, I just got all of the jabs.
Well, yeah. Did you get the new one?
I haven't gone that far. No,
No, you need the new
I
one.
need
You
the new one.
you need the new one. I think that's where I want you to
I
go
gotta
right
tell my
now.
doctor how he says.
How he says, get it. It's good.
Good.
I got it. You look at me. I'm all peppy.
Wow, I gotta
Yeah.
say, you're looking
He's
well.
all peppy.
Taking my wife out to dinner tonight for
Yeah,
our
yeah.
anniversary.
Oh my God. Why does he care? He doesn't.
Wait a minute, wait. He's bringing up anniversary, which was last week. What an idiot. He even brought it up in the own interview
Yes.
that
Yes,
he's
good
recording
catch,
it,
Dennis.
you moron.
I know that you know their anniversary better than they do.
Hey
Dennis.
Keith,
So-
is October 5th your favorite day of the year?
Exactly. So, I keep on thinking back to Chris Farley's thing on Saturday Night Live, and I just realized that him making fun of interviews is still better than this.
Oh yeah, this is more hard hitting than Chris Farley and Paul McCartney.
Let's continue
You remember
slaughtering.
that? It was great.
Okay, here we go. Why are you not going on?
You remember?
The computer got bored.
I got it. You,
Doctor, how he says.
how he says, get it. It's good. I got it. You look at me. I'm all peppy.
You are. I gotta
Yeah.
say, you
Don't
look
insult
well.
Chris Farley.
Taking my wife out to dinner tonight for
Yeah,
our
yeah.
anniversary.
Oh,
Yeah.
how long's that?
Well, we've been together 25 years, but this is our 15th wedding,
1998, they're genius.
and I'm going to be on a real high from talking to
What you
you.
gonna have?
I am going to have some sort of fish. I'm not eating. You eat red meat?
Occasionally.
You
yeah.
do?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, you can't play rock and roll without red meat.
How the
Monique.
fuck do you stay so thin? By the way, really, you've got a
I'm
tremendous.
really not that thin.
No, you've got no. You've got a wonderful figure.
This
Oh
is
my God, that's.
If you
really
didn't hear this
This is
interview, it gets
horrible.
really crazy right after this. Howard asked him about his mercury count. It gets really crazy.
Oh my, you're kidding.
You know the fun.
No,
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 no. But the funny thing about
This
it
is like
is that you know that if he was somebody like on the staff or something like this, he would rip them a new asshole.
How right.
How
No
dare
one
you.
will be allowed to give answers like that.
No.
It's how Yahoo comes out with an article. Keith Richards likes lunch when it's around. I guarantee it. Leslie Dart's dropping that right now.
you can't
That's
make
the
that
type
shit
of
up,
bullshit
man.
press he gets now.
Exactly.
Oh, Pell, yeah, you should have asked that. Do you
What?
really have no sympathy for the devil?
That's a great question, pal. You should be writing the question. The Chris
That's
Farley
actually
show went.
way too deep for Howard.
The Chris Farley show went.
Dude, these are
Bob,
embarrassing.
you remember
Like
when you
legit
the Beatles?
embarrassing.
Question: did Blobbin ever come up during the interview?
No, she did like an O and an ah and a
Do you-
ha ha.
You sure it was her though?
Do you
Yeah, I
think
have
she got?
them in here.
Hey
Okay.
Mo, do you think she got a talking to after the Paul Simon thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Oh,
no, the Arnold
no.
thing.
Oh,
It was the Arnold thing. It was the Arnold thing.
Arnold,
Wait a
yeah,
minute,
absolutely.
wait a minute,
I
I'm
don't think
talking
anybody
to you.
tells her shit.
Let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, here. So finally we're signing off. Here we go.
All right, listen, you're fantastic. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being gracious with
Hey,
your time.
pleasure, man.
Everybody, go out. Acne Diamonds. That's your next thing. You got to do it. Keith, I love you. Thank you.
Mwah. Thank you for being here.
Robin, bless you,
Oh,
darling.
that was. That's embarrassing.
Thank you for being here. Mwah.
That's embarrassing, bro.
I
That's
love
perfect, Cindy.
Yeah, oh, here's
That's
another great
perfect.
question from Cindy Clausen.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Keith, how was your last colonoscopy?
Yeah.
you. Exactly.
a blood test every 15 minutes.
That's insane.
Oh my god.
That
And
might be
then,
worse than Robert Plant.
Yeah,
um,
and Keith,
I think this might be a new low. I mean, that's saying a lot.
and the
Jagger
thing is,
was bad.
Keith Richards is so pickled at this point that he just didn't give a shit. He was just whatever. I'm here, whatever.
I would say it took
whatever.
Howard off his game, but I don't know what his game is anymore.
I think
He doesn't have a game. What are you
Yeah,
talking
I mean-
about?
Not to go back to this, but he essentially called Keith. Have you ever? Are you fake at a party? And there's no way in hell Keith Richards would ever. He would soon
I think
take a
that somebody told him
shit.
a stupid
He would
story.
sooner take a shit in that living room than to be fake.
He's never fake, and I don't think he knows that. So, it's him trying to associate. It's him trying to. Yes, he did ask him if he misses. Yes,
No,
he
you're
did.
joking.
Yeah, I think
No.
he did ask him.
No, you're joking.
I
No,
think
no,
No, he didn't ask him about
no.
Keith Moon.
Monique, did you
No.
listen to the whole thing?
I did. I fell asleep.
I'm sorry.
Was there
I'm
any indication that Keith Richards listened to the show or had any
No, not at all.
relation, or any
No.
reference, or nothing? He never. There's no.
No.
Didn't.
See-
So does he even know who Robin is? Would he even know who Robin is?
No,
No, you wouldn't have an idea.
No, I don't think he's ever listened to the show. I really don't.
So
Why
was
would
this
he?
Wait, so this was done in person in the studio
On Thursday
Right.
last week.
on Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
That was the cringe moment of the interview. Howard even said, "My famous friend said you were fake." Right?
Yeah.
Do you miss Glenn Miller? Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah.
You know. The thing is, the difference between this and
I'm
Robert
sorry.
Plant is that Keith Richards is zoned out. I mean, he really is checked out. Doesn't care. Robert Plant actually, still thinks about his image and still thinks about,
Yeah.
his
He's
level of
still, like,
fame.
with us.
and,
Well,
and,
he
and-
don't
Don't
care.
you know the new album though, which I
please.
find hard to believe.
Yeah, it's really gonna really sock the charts. It should be in the top 1,000.
Here, it's called Hackney Diamonds.
Yeah, whatever. It's
12-track
Hey.
album. Oh, so they did talk about the fact that Charlie Watts and Bill Wyman were on it, and he talked about how he missed.
Wait, Bill Wyman came back for a track or two?
He said it was sad because it's the last time you'll ever hear, them all together. So yeah, like that.
Was Chaz Watts or Wyman on the show at some point? I remember one of them. Was Watts a birthday show or
don't-
something? One of them had been on before.
No.
Yes,
No.
yes, they were on. It was years ago.
Are you serious?
Somewhere in the 90s. Yeah. So it might have been a birthday show. I'm telling you, if anyone remembers, I vaguely
I
remember.
doubt it. You know what? Mo and I were talking about this the other day when the whole Keith Richards thing came up. Charlie Watts, I'm sure, is famous. Now, he hates rock and roll. He fancies himself like an actual trained musician.
Intellectual.
But
Yeah.
the Brinks truck kept backing up into his house.
Yeah, well,
That's the problem.
Keith
Kept
Richards
them-
had
he
almost
couldn't get rid of the Brinks truck from.
Of
No,
course.
he said almost
Give
the
the
exact
money
same
back.
thing. He doesn't listen to most rock and roll because Howard just kept pummeling him with,
Yep.
"What do you think about this one? What do you think about this guy? What do you think about this guy?" He's like, "I don't really listen to that." Oh, he was talking about Eddie Van Halen. He's like, I don't really listen to that music. He's more of like a Muddy Waters and Chuck Berry and
Absolutely.
people like
Yeah.
that. He's like, I listened to that music so that I could put an English spin on that music and give it back to America in a different way. And he knows that that's what he did. He knows that that's what made him his money. Look at it. His net worth is $500 million.
Oh, at least.
probably light. It's
believe-
probably
I
much more
easily
than
believe
that.
that.
You know that.
I mean, and they're one of the number one touring bands still,
Yeah,
so it's kind
you
of
know,
crazy.
listen.
I just wanted to throw out there that Ron Wood is actually a brilliant artist.
Oh, look
And
at that. That's real art.
this is
Maybe it
real
was
art.
Ron Wood that
Unlike
was
what
on.
Howard does.
Yeah. Ron Wood is a
Is he
real
going to
art.
put that on a T-shirt and sell it?
Yes.
Yeah.
To save the
Yeah, to save
narwhals.
the butterflies.
narwhals. Yes.
The
Yes.
Yes,
narwhals.
there you go.
Well, that's like Howard. If you want to disavow the 90s in your past and the blackface, give the money back. Give
Yeah.
the money back. You cashed
You know
all those
what?
checks, right? Give it back.
You know what? You guys bring up a good point about has Keith ever listened to the show? He wouldn't be on today.
No.
The Rolling Stones were one of the few bands that 100% gave credit to all the black R&B guys before them. They
Yeah.
never.
They're
They
always-
That's
they
when
were even
both
like in,
of them-
they were even
both
like
of
before
them-
Muddy Waters died. They were like in videos with him and stuff. They
Right.
were so proud of that.
Well, that was the
But
Led
you know
Zeppelin
what?
controversy.
If he knew that if he, hang on, I gotta bend this guy. If he knew that oops, damn it.
I did it.
If he knew that Howard did blackface, like come on, I don't think he'd be on the
show
show.
him that.
I don't think he would have been on the show.
That's a good point. Tanuna says, "Oh, it's Ron Wood I was thinking of." Okay.
Ah.
Maybe it was
Right.
it was Ron Wood. I forget when that was, but I did see that in a dive I went through a couple weeks ago.
You know, it's amazing to me. It's amazing, like when we were reading that article, that Mark Strigan thing about calling him a skinny pockmarked guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that Howard of that day, if he would have had on somebody like him,
That
it would
interview
have
would
been
have
a
been way
horrible
better.
interview. Like
Yep.
it just
Whoa,
would
whoa,
have
whoa, whoa. This was a horrible interview. How could it be any worse?
been worse.
It
He
was
would take
yeah,
callers.
yeah.
He would take callers. He would let
That
people.
would have been better than this.
give
It
him
would have been
shit.
much better than this.
I don't know if it would have been
atrocious.
better, but it would have definitely not been nearly as fawning as this one was, because it was pretty pathetic.
If you weren't a co-owner of Sirius and you didn't ask shitty questions, how fast would Richards have walked out if he wasn't contractually obligated to do this?
He is,
$140?
because the
Yeah.
Rolling
dude,
Stone
totally.
channel. Oops.
Well,
Well, do we think he's going to package this to try
No.
to anyway to sell it
wasn't
to
No,
the
that-
network?
no one wants it. No one wants it. No.
it wasn't
that
that,
ship sailed. That's over with now.
that interesting.
Yeah. Howard's gotten away with a lot more dumber shit for having no.
No, I think the
without
time is
proving
over for
himself.
that. It's done.
So that was it, and he says
So-
goodbye to him, and he says, you know, take care, everybody. So nice being here, and blah blah blah. And then it jumps right immediately within 1 second into this.
In a world full of penises, one show has the balls to give them their own month.
Look at this. Try to show it to Howard. Let me see your cock.
Cocktober on the Howard Stern Show.
Sal, it's time to use your penis as a golf club.
It went towards his asshole and turned around. It made a U-turn.
You'll laugh, you'll cry, you might even come.
Sal, what happened?
Put his dick in my mouth.
Why did it was a goof? I messed up.
From the people who brought you Guess What's in My Pouch.
Come over, squeeze my pouch, and guess what's inside of it? Where is it?
It's in my pouch.
Down there. Oh, you have such a versatile cock.
I got a whole set of dentures in my
Oh my goodness.
Cocktober. This time, it's personal and veiny.
Oh, go slow, Sal. Oh my God, he's taking that razor over his cock and balls.
Rated PG for pretty gay.
Can we go to the computer now?
Jesus Christ! Why did you do that to me? Why do you hate me? Why? Why?
It is
Why?
had to show us,
October
she had it.
11th. They will not be back on air until 12, 13, 14, 15, till the 16th. He will have to do his victory lap for this show, and do a re-review of it and take clips from it, because he knows nobody actually listened live to it. Then he'll have to talk about Ronnie's wedding for a good portion of the week, and then do some Cocktober.
Could you imagine anybody else in show business getting away with that?
No.
Doing just a very mediocre to below average interview and then congratulating themselves for a week straight. Could you imagine Charlie Rose interviewing Keith Richards and then congratulating himself for the next week and getting that much money to do it?
So two things. First, could you imagine Johnny Carson after he interviewed somebody?
Carson, whoever, whatever.
No, he interviewed Frank Sinatra. He was on all the time, but like the next night, going, "Oh my God, I talked to Frank Sinatra for an hour." Going on for 20 minutes about it. Like, no.
Hey, Ed, we're going to talk about last week's Ed Sullivan interview.
Even Jimmy Kimmel, who has had on pretty much everybody. He really has. Never does he say, geez,
Congratulates himself the next night.
I just thought of something. So now he did the 2 shows in his basement with the useless shows in the summer no one heard, and he just done this. So that's an entire week now that's gone. Those are because I should start counting those shows in the summer as a count, because they're shows.
You mean
he's done 3 shows now, so there's a week cut right off his schedule. He's
the
going to
Famous
cut a
Friends
week
show,
out.
the Ross Sapien show, and now this.
Yep, he's going to cut a week off.
He just shot right out. He just shot right out. What is that movie? Quick.
Uncle Vanya.
He just
damn it.
It's a mad.
Oh God!
Oh my God! It's so long ago since I've seen that. You're right. He shot right
I love Sylvester from that movie.
Oh, I
One of the funniest
love
characters.
That's one of the greatest movies ever made.
Of all time. I have fond memories of that.
But yeah, so he's made it. So I have a feeling that around Christmas there's gonna be a little less, or Thanksgiving there's gonna be a little less going on.
I thought he might take off next week and let this marinate for another week.
No, he has to get.
I don't think so. I think this is the perfect time for him to be here because he's got Thanksgiving. You know, he wants to get his ass down to Florida. You know,
It's got to be cold up there, doesn't it?
It is cold up here. There was like 45 degrees when I woke up this
Oh,
morning.
geez, that's
Listening
not-
to that,
that's
Monique,
unhuman.
what do you think it's like being Sal's kids?
Oh, that's got to be embarrassing.
Well, I mean, like his with Antonio,
Really?
right? He's in his early. He has kids in their late teens and early 20s. And as unpopular as this show is, it obviously gets around that he works on this show. Could you imagine being Sal's kids?
No,
and this is
no, because here's the thing. You know the way when you grow up with, like, let's say a father who's an alcoholic and he beats the shit out of your mother, and
No
you
one
know
talks
you're
about it.
cowered in the corner or whatever. You think that's normal because you don't know any differently. His kids don't know any differently than to have a father who works on this show and does
I'm
this
sorry
for a
though, but
living.
all right, I'm sorry, but they're like in when they're high school, and I mean it's like, hey, your dad gets a dick in his mouth. I mean
all those years since
yeah, I
series
mean,
that's been going on
there's
since
a lot of that.
they've been with the show since 05.
The
right?
big W, I tell
Yeah.
you, the big W.
Yep.
Sorry. How do you not know? Yeah, I don't know. I think the kids are proud of their dad. They have two boys, thank
No,
God.
I don't-
Thank
I
God
don't
they're
think so.
boys. That's number one. You know, if
Yeah,
they're
that's a great
girls,
point. What if they're girls?
You know, you don't see
Sal would
John
snip
Hine
his-
doing that. The people that have girls don't do that. John
Sal
Hine
would
doesn't
sniff his
do that.
own daughter's panties.
Wait, what about Richard Christie? Is he two boys?
He's got just one kid, right? He doesn't have two.
No,
kids,
he has
does
two.
No, he has two now.
Oh,
He has
right,
two
he had
now,
another
that
one. Okay,
little-
But they're young.
they're not
they-
old enough to. He'll be out
And
of there.
be
by the
totally
time.
embarrassed or shamed by their friends.
All right, so we are just about done with this show, and I'm
thank
happy to say
Cleaning out the computer.
just a little bit because as we were doing this, we decided, video backgrounds are now supported in the studio. Ooh,
I can put a video background.
no,
Yeah,
no, I
Vito.
can put one. I can put one back here.
Yes, Vito. Already wished AIDS on Sal's kids, and now they have
there.
it. That's a good call.
Back there.
That's exactly right.
That's it.
Monique, I got one thing I got to remind you of because I said this guy at the last minute. Thank you, Angela Mastro. She did her own. I inspired her to take a trip to 17 Squabble Lane, and she sent me the 3-second video. She slow motioned in like HD, I think, and she went by the driveway very slowly, and it's open, and it looks like you can fit 80 volleyball courts in the driveway. You could have your own Talladega in
I'm
Howard's
sorry.
driveway.
What are we talking about?
I sent you a
talking about Howard's
video
house.
of a new video
When?
of 17 Squabble Lane
Where?
from Angela. I sent it in the inbox.
No, it says that this is broken. Let me try it.
What?
Let me try. Let me try. Let me try. Give me a second, everybody.
We're fine. We're here. So yeah, I just
Very
I released
clear.
I uploaded a video the
Just a
other day
couple
on
seconds.
wiring. So yes,
Oh, wiring.
so you don't burn your car down. It's kind of important.
They already tweeted today, huh? Gunga did? What did he say?
56 LT shirt, I think, jersey for his birthday. I think.
Oh, was it a Lawrence Taylor tweet?
Well, he turns 56 today. Wasn't LT? 56?
Ah, okay. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Happy
No,
birthday,
that link is broken. It's not.
Oh,
It's
no.
Oh no, it's broken.
I blame Apple, Dennis.
Yeah.
You should.
Why
You
don't
should blame it.
What can you see? If you
Rumpa.
link it in the.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can
Link
play it
the
on my end.
Can you link it in the private chat?
It's not. It's a video she sent
Can
me
you text it
on
to me?
Twitter. I'm looking at it now on my end to see if it's broke.
Can I open it on your Twitter? Is it
How
on
would you get into my
Twitter?
Twitter?
Is
It's in
it-
my inbox.
Oh, it's a PM. Okay.
Exactly,
Yes.
Jeff Schick.
Can you send it to me on Twitter?
I can. I don't know how you'd look at my inbox.
Can you play? No. Can you?
Thanks, Crazy Robin.
You know what I'll do? I'll screen record it on my end,
No,
and
that's a lot.
That's not really. It's 5 seconds.
Okay.
You want to save it for next time? I'll save it for next
No,
time.
I want it now. I want it right now.
Want it now?
I want it now. We only have 3 clips that we need to play, and then we're done. So let me see if this comes up on. No, the document cannot be opened. It's not
No,
compatible.
Benjamin, he's gonna put it on carrier pigeon.
He's not
It's
compatible.
I wonder if okay, I'm gonna try to screen record this.
All right, you do that, and then I'm gonna play the Keith is a pockmarked dickhead.
Jesus.
That's from Boff,
Yeah,
by the
so
way.
these are clips relating to the Mark Sfriggin that I posted on Twitter that John had sent me basically back in the 80s, where he didn't really care if Keith Richards was on or not. All right, so John, you try and do that, and I'll do this. All right, here we go.
Let's put some makeup on.
And I should also remind you that that our mystery guest is canceled.
Why? Because every time she lines up a guest, it ends up being canceled.
What? Who was it?
It was Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones.
Now, what happened?
Well, here's what happens. Every time Pat, our program director, has the least clout in the business. She lines up a guest for us. It gets like way out of hand. She lines him up, and usually around Monday she'll say, "I think I can get Keith Richards on your show." And I'll go, "Wow, great!" I always get suckered in. I go, "Great." John Cher has him booked at the Ritz.
No. He's playing a big venue tomorrow night that we're not going to promote because it's going to be half empty.
Good. Yeah.
Wow, we're not going to promote it because
Damn.
it's half empty.
And the rationale is that Mick Jagger's not there, so nobody gives a shit about you playing solo.
Wow.
Nobody wants to see him without Mick Jagger.
Poor baby.
But they needed a lot of help with ticket sales. And
Now, shockingly, that he doesn't say anything about how Keith Richards formulated his persona as a child, and he was somebody that he idolized his entire life, right?
Right.
Like he's
shocking. Well, he was supposed to call in this morning.
Yeah, that was so she gave me that whole spiel. Packing your spiel on why I'm calling in. You can't get up that early.
It's plug in the name. It's the same thing. Management doesn't want to get up. John Cher was going to have him do it, but we bypassed the record label, and management said that that he would do it, but then he changed his mind. It's 4 a.m. in L.A. and
It's always politics.
No, it's not always politics. It's that no rock star wants to get up at 6:30 in the morning to talk to you, especially since you don't really give a rat's ass about these people. How's it
I've
going?
been saying it. I've been saying it for years that this show should never have been on in the morning. The energy is 1,000 times better in the afternoon. The guests are better. There's nothing that you'll never convince me that
No, you can rerun it. Nobody cares.
That's exactly right. That's for years.
But back then, it had to be on in the morning because that actually was the most important.
Well, even back then, Dennis, I could make a case that it didn't need to be on back then. They were so rocking and rolling in the afternoon at WNBC. Rush Limbaugh has the highest ratings. He's on at noon. I mean, you could over and over again. I could shoot holes in that.
Dennis is right. The drive time was drive time.
Was the
but drive time's the afternoon too. What's the same? You gotta get home.
Not the same. It's not the same.
You're not really paying attention because you really want to get your ass home.
If the show's better in the afternoon, move it to the afternoon.
Thinking a little bit more. All right, Arm, how are you getting over there?
How am I getting what?
Is it recorded now?
Oh, you did.
The problem is the volume's kind of weird and low. I'll work on it for next time. Just go. It's the visual and it's a video. It's Angela Mastro sent me this.
Okay.
I screen recorded it just so you could with a better format.
Her full name being said on the air, but okay.
She's on Twitter. I mean, I think she wants the promotion.
All right,
wants the
let's do this. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. So, give me the.
She took a trip with her family, and I inspired her to go past Squabble Lane on Long Island.
Ah, there it is.
And here we go.
And there you go.
I did it in a loop. Look at this driveway.
Okay, we'll do this. All right, here we go.
Let's put some makeup on.
And I should also remind you that
Okay, wait.
Look at this effing why the terrorists hate us? Please.
Oh my
focus
God.
on this block.
The landing strip. Wait, the landing strip at LaGuardia is shorter.
Is this to his specific home, or is this the area?
Yes.
That's his home.
That's it. That's the same driveway I was at.
No, I know, but does that lead to several homes?
That's a great question. What does that driveway do?
His home. If you look on
what
Google
it is
Maps,
off the
it's
main
his
street,
home.
you have his mailbox, and you have this long ass driveway that curves around towards the back of the house.
Oh, the back of the house where you go to the bathroom.
No, I mean like the property,
No,
like the house,
The house.
Yeah, there you go.
Hang on, let me see.
Good.
By the way, this is
metadata
not
forensics
creepy
work,
at all.
Monique.
We're not.
I'm
creepy.
not at all embarrassed by it. I'm proud of this. I think it's like I feel like Donnie Brasco.
Let me go
What's going on here?
You remember, like, what was it
Use
a week
Google
or two when
Maps.
he's talking
Put it
about
on,
how He's just a regular guy that wants to be in a regular home.
He had people terrorize Rosie O'Donnell's kids in malls. I don't give a shit what he thinks.
Just go Google. Was it 12?
I did it.
Squabble
not
Lane,
Angela,
whatever.
Hey, shut up! What the fuck? I get it. Why are you hawking me over here?
Shining. What?
God. You do it if you want to.
I'm not yelling at you. I take your time. I'm not yelling at you.
Sir, like,
I like this. I want you to please.
See, look. Oh my God! Look at that driveway. Holy
Get rid of that thing on the left. See what I mean? See how like there's a mailbox off the main road.
That's his driveway. That literally is his driveway.
Well, no. See, I don't know that she could access this road. Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
I don't know that road.
She'd have to turn in on the driveway in order to get on.
Is accessible to the plebes.
There's a gate that goes up when you see my video.
So that road is gated. That road right there.
The road to the road.
This whole swing around. See, there's a gate here.
Oh, I see Oh,
see what I'm saying? And
more
then
security in Fort Knox.
Here's Squabble.
It's like the beginning of Get Smart.
Exactly.
Only that knows.
Gates.
But that's a home. That's right to their home. Squabble Lane. Wait. So his house is on the other side, though. It's down there.
It's considered Squabble Lane, but it's not on Squabble. It's like
it's off an alley. It's literally like an alley.
Yeah, that's like the side road. So, if in fact was she here?
We'll never
staring
know.
at the neighbor's landing strip.
Yeah, that's exactly the angle because you're looking to the right. When you go down, that's how I did it. When you go down Squabble, you look to the right. It's on the right.
That's someone else's house, though. That's not 17.
Yeah, you can't get to his house. That's what I'm saying.
His house is so secluded you can't even get to it.
You can't get there. It's a little. It goes around the other side.
You know what? This makes me want to. I want to feel the sun. Barbecue.
I'm not giving in.
Look how long that driveway is, though, because that's a truck at the beginning of it.
Yeah, actually, Johnny, you cannot access his home from Squabble Lane.
Wow.
No, I would imagine there's a road that leads to the road, but that's how you get where she went. That's what the GPS takes you right to that driveway. That's how you get in. And it probably who knows where those roads.
That our mystery guest is canceled.
Why? Because every time.
Yeah, I think that's the road that leads you in.
Does it really matter, guys? Come on.
It's actually pretty entertaining.
It's just the fact that she was in her
Look
neighborhood.
look at the bushes on both sides. If you could stop it like right in the middle of the driveway.
This ends up being a guest. This anytime she lines up a guest, this ends up being canceled.
Yeah, it's all well manicured. It's lovely. That's the way.
Look at how high the bush is to the right.
Yes, of course. Everything's obscured. This is the way.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow.
I heard there's a law that the Hamptons are not allowed to build walls and gates. There's like a weird town law that they're not allowed to do the huge wall and gate.
The hedgerow?
Well, that's
an actual wall, an actual.
That's why they're off the lanes.
Trump wall.
People. They're off the lanes so that you can't see them and you don't need the wall. That's basically
1%er problems.
Yeah,
no 0.01%.
All right, let's just finish off Keith and
white people and Tyra Banks problems.
All right, here we go.
It doesn't matter. I told you. She said, well, I'm going to try and get him in the studio, but if I have to get him by phone, can I? So finally I acquiesced and I said, okay, phone.
So he already had slipped to the phone.
Yeah, we already going to have him on the phone. A phone call from Keith Richards, which would have been kind of cool. I think, I wanted to. Actually, I was going to say, hey, congratulations on putting out a good album. I really like your album. And doing it without Mick Jagger, because, you're really screwing that guy over. He's got to be freaking out. You put out a good album without him. That proves that you were the guy who was the genius behind the Rolling Stones.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
But hey, screw that guy, pockmarked dickhead. What's the matter? You can't call in? Too good?
You weren't gonna, laud him for being the world's greatest white drug taker.
Yeah, well.
Wow.
Jeez.
Oh, there's so much more where that came from if you go through the years, but that's a really good one because he canceled.
World's greatest white drug taker.
That's a good one for TikTok.
Wow.
Damn.
That's a good one over the weekend to let marinate on TikTok in a loop.
Indeed. Okay, so our last clip of the night would happen.
Yeah.
What happened to Anthony Cumia? What happened to him? Why is he in the hospital?
Heart attack?
I don't know. He's been in there for a while, though. It's been over a week, if not more.
Thought I heard it was people know this, right? A heart attack, right? And
I don't know.
That has been going for about 2 weeks. He has been in the hospital with the heart attack.
But hard to
Something along those lines. Triple bypass. Thank you, Andre.
bypass.
That's a lot of bypasses.
Wow. Wow.
That
Okay.
ain't good.
Blocked
Is,
artery.
is he still going to be allowed to go to the homecoming?
the Roslyn Heights homecoming.
Yeah, exactly.
How'd you know?
He lives in the same town as Allison Stern's therapy practice.
Oh, really?
Roslyn Heights, right
Really?
around the corner. Yeah.
Does he
not there
meet
anymore, right.
frisky teenagers that way?
Yeah.
How'd you know?
All right. So what is this clip? John.
I'm sorry, Monique. He broke up.
What is the
Jackie.
clip?
Jackie tells us what it's like the formation of a poser. The making of fake rocker Howard and how it all goes down and what the real guy is like. What you just heard speaking to Keith Richards. If anyone gets a chance, listen to the Keith Richards interview, and I want you to channel what Jackie says the real guy is, and this is the real guy.
All right. Here we go.
The timing was a little weird on that. I guess they had to get everything in.
Look at Jackie Marling just stepped in, Robin, to help us celebrate the good fortune we created.
And they did kind of cool him up a lot earlier than he was cool. There was the little
You'll never get me to say
afro
that.
and the mustache through all of NBC.
When I first walked in the Stern Show, he was built like a pear. He was a big, fat Jewish guy with a big afro.
Yeah.
And I said to Fred, what kind of music does he listen to? He says, I can't get him to listen to music. I can't get him to watch sports. And all of a sudden, Dee Snider came in and said, you should wear this. You should wear this.
Right.
You like this and tell everybody you like this. And all of a sudden, there's this new person.
That was D, right? He kind of influenced his look, I guess.
Yeah, because when I look at somebody,
If you want to look,
if I look around the room, I say, there's the role model I want.
The guy I need.
I want to look like Dee Snider. What color?
I love it.
Oh, I miss Jackie and I miss Artie. Happy birthday, Artie.
Oh, happy birthday, Artie. Happy birthday.
The baby voice comes in. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Monique.
Oh my
Moreover.
Yeah. Happy
by the
Same
way,
birthday,
I
same day.
really,
same-
really,
Tardo.
I mentioned this today on our
Happy birthday, Shuli.
radio. Happy birthday, Julie and Stuttering John.
Oh my God.
I did mention I am really. I know it's very self-centered and I don't really give a shit what any of you have to say, but I am thrilled to not be in the Middle East right now. Like I am.
You think? You
I
think it'd be a good move not to be there
I
right now?
Can't even envision what it would have been like to be like on the Dead Sea, which literally looks right over Israel, like the entirety of it. You can see Bethlehem from the place that we were staying at. And I can't even envision what it must be like to see bombs and and things like that over. I can't even imagine the fear.
Are you kidding me, Monique? The Radio Gunk Analytics, Palestine's our biggest audience. They let you right back. Bonjolu, show me the stats.
We're really big in the Gaza Strip.
Yeah.
That's the big spike.
We're in the top 5, actually. It's pretty good.
Men from the Golan Heights from 25 to
Right.
45 are on
I
top.
hate men in the Golan
How'd
Heights.
you know?
All right. So that's it for tonight. Wednesday, October 11th. We just wanted to give you a little bit of the interview. I know it didn't get into any deep delved stuff about, what Keith said, but honestly, I swear to you, it's nothing you haven't heard before. I swear to you.
I only listened 20 minutes. Was Johnny Depp brought up at all? So I know for Friday.
Not that I remember.
Okay. Maybe you
It
fell
was
asleep.
very
I was-
music.
yeah.
No, it was very music driven. It was very.
It was white girl interview. Come on.
It was basic
white
bitch.
toast,
Basic bitch.
bland.
Yeah,
you know.
so you learn nothing, and not that anybody really expected it. Call in show, please. Yeah, Autobot.
a
Sure.
good idea.
Let's do that soon.
One last question for the panel. The dinosaur rocker bucket list, right? Who's left now? We haven't heard from.
Who's alive?
Who's alive?
question.
Right.
Who's
So it's a
alive?
bucket list. So who
Who's
now
actually
is
alive?
Who's left?
Okay,
with
well,
bucket
let's.
Mentioned it. Not
Okay,
that
well,
you know.
let's
Remember?
just- who are the top bands that are still kind of around? The Who, he's done. The Rolling Stones, he's done.
Queen.
who's
Obviously,
left?
McCartney.
How
we've
about
done.
Queen?
McCartney,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Neil
he
Young.
doesn't care
Ringo,
about
he's done Ringo,
You don't
right?
think he'd do Brian May from Queen?
No.
Nah.
No, he
yeah.
wouldn't do that. Wow.
Jimmy
Well, I
Page,
mean,
G
that would be
Canada.
a
Good answer.
That would be a good interview, but
G Canada nailed
it's
it.
Howard.
Yep.
Did he do? Has Ringo been on the show? I don't remember.
Not
Yes. Wait,
well,
no,
okay,
wait, no, he
okay,
hasn't
okay.
been. Ringo has never been on, but he won't come on. He's done now.
Okay, no. Well, okay, we're not talking about who's going to be on. Just like who's left.
Clapton, good one. G Cannon nailed two of them.
Clapton would never
Clapton's
do
left.
the show.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
the
think
only one
so
left
either.
from that band.
No way in hell.
Oh,
Does
no.
anyone remember that Keith Richards? He got arrested for heroin in Canada, in Canada, and there was some weird statute of limitations that got him off. He should be arrested for like 30. I forget what the story is. I got to go back. And Phil Collins.
No.
Phil Collins is a great.
That ain't
Phil
happening.
Collins is a great career. I mean, look at him as
I
this
know, but
cheesy
he's not
80s
funny
guy.
to hell.
is dead,
He
bro.
has more hits than the Stones do in the last 30 years, 40 years.
Sorry. Bob's Last Smoke. I'm sorry. It's a OPI.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan. He's had
Bob
him.
Dylan would probably.
He's had him on. Bob Dylan's been on.
Axl
has
Rose
he
would be
really?
a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like.
No,
the-
he hasn't had Bob Dylan on.
I thought he did. I thought he
Yeah,
had Bob
Jacob
Dylan
Dylan on, not Bob.
Oh, yes, he did.
When has he
How
had
about
Bob Dylan?
on? Yeah.
Not that.
It
When,
was
Here's
awful.
one that would
It
be
was-
too hip for him.
Dennis,
Jeff
I
Lynne.
apologize if you're right. I have no recollection of that. I thought that was always a
It was
bucket
bad.
list.
Wait, let me see.
I have no recollection of Bob
Let me
Dylan.
let me see if I'm wrong because I
As
swear he
well
was
as
on.
That interview exposed Howard as an interviewer. I enjoyed some interviews like Paul Simon. However, Howard going off bullet points written for him and then faking as if it was his knowledge is rock fraud.
Yeah.
I would love Paul.
Tom
Westerberg,
Jones
but
is
he's too
dead,
stupid
isn't
to
he,
have him
guys?
on.
Who?
Pretty sure.
I
Didn't
think
Tom Jones just die?
is dead.
Sorry, guys. I know people keep bringing him up. So.
Hey, Josh, believe it or not,
Yep,
Iggy
never
Pop
been on,
did the
you're
show
right.
on the Channel 9 show, and he hasn't done it since. He hates
All right,
Howard.
so Bob Dylan's been like multiple mentions, always mentioned, always appointed
Never did
mention,
it.
but you're right, never on.
Interesting.
He had Don Henley on a few years ago. That was the first time he had ever been on.
You know who would be a really good interview, not by Howard? Jeff Lynne.
I want to hear
Jeff
Paul
Lynne would be a
Westerberg.
great interview.
Jeff
by a
Lynne
real
has been
interviewer.
like, he's always one person remove away from every rock legend out there.
Yeah.
So
That's a good one. Who's it? David Gilmour. I don't know if
Jim
they never.
Gilmour
Pink Floyd never
no.
comes up on the show, right?
But he
That's
would
the
be.
buffet.
He would be. He's one guy that's left.
Yeah, he's a great guitar. I mean,
there's
I'm
not too many of
even
those guys
talking-
left anymore. I mean,
No, really, there aren't. Because
Even I love his guitar.
It's 50 years ago. I mean, really, seriously, it's 45 to 50 years ago for those guys, and that's a long time.
How about someone a tad younger, like a Michael Stipe?
I mean, as depressing as it is, even the guys from the '90s are all gone pretty much at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
so-
yeah, most of that's gone. Yeah.
By the way, obviously I'm a TikTok fanatic and I
Like,
talking. No, they don't do that much anymore. But
Georgie just-
Shows how much I watch it.
I'm very much into the Tom Jones zeitgeist, right? And I love this. They loved him.
He's Welsh, you know that, right?
Is that Bert Convy?
No, that's Tom Jones.
Sorry.
The greatest Welshman ever.
Oh my God, he was like They loved him. They loved.
Bob Seger.
People have done that to that song. Wah! I can't remember the name of it. The rock song. The Radiohead never come in, never. Most of these people, they'd be like, "Who? Howard? Who?"
How about you'd love to hear Morrissey, wouldn't you? On here?
No.
Oh,
I
you'd love to have 10,
I'm
20 years ago.
offended. No. I love Morrissey. I would be offended if he went on there. I'd be
Okay,
actually.
yeah,
Oh
there's
my
no way.
God.
I'd be mad at him for going on there.
Rod Stewart's been on, Aaron, a bunch of times.
Yeah, Rod Stewart's been on.
Benjamin, I love that. Cher. That would be.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh.
one. That's a great one.
it would be
Benjamin.
confusing. You'd have to have like little like
Name tags?
Yeah, because you wouldn't know who's who.
Cher, Dolly Parton would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Never on. Never coming
No,
on. but-
no, never.
No.
I don't think. Does
Love-
Dolly Parton do interviews anymore? Anyway.
I don't.
She's
know.
all over the place, but
I
yeah,
don't
she doesn't
think
do like
she's
real
difficult
interviews.
to-
Yeah, no, she's done. She's done with everything.
Well, she had
at
a
this
lawsuit
point.
against Howard. She's a cease and desist
Yeah.
lawsuit back in 06 for using her name in a prank call, and they thought it was real.
Really?
A racist. Yeah, I had that clip on my YouTube
What
channel.
Maynard? What is it? Maynard Keynes from Tool. He'd be an interesting interview.
They're not
That's
having him on.
'90s, but he'd still be interesting.
That's way
but
too hip for Howard.
way too
Is
hip
Lou
for
Reed
Howard.
still
Way
alive?
too
He's
deep.
still alive, right?
Yes, he is.
Who?
They're actually doing a tour
Reed,
because he did Pussifer. He was the lead singer of Pussifer, and they're doing a tour with.
Harry Farrell was on Tone Coat.
Yeah, he's been on a bunch of times. He's actually on the
been on
Private Parts soundtrack.
Yeah.
With
So,
Primus.
in the
They're going on
comments,
tour with
anyone,
Primus.
right? Who you think the new bucket list dinosaur rocker?
They've been
would
going
be
through.
that he
I've
has
been.
in
I've been.
Yeah,
I've
there's
been
a lot of
putting
good
them up
names
on
people
the
come up with.
Screen.
You know who would be a great interview for Howard? If he interviewed Howard Stern in the closet.
Yes.
Like the
Leave it to Jeremy Spoke.
They
to
could do a
nail it.
split screen. They could do like when they do one of those episodes of Evil Marsha and Marsha, like those kind of 70s campy shit.
Wasn't Reznor on already?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
Everybody around he's never been on. Everyone Reznor, Jason's been on, but never Reznor, and Howard's
That's
obsessed
right,
with
okay.
He wants to have gay sex.
All right,
with
Ian
Fred Astaire.
Anderson. Yeah, that's they're actually touring, but yeah, and that's actually somebody
Steve Perry
relevant.
is,
Steve Perry hates him.
Well, Steve Perry doesn't do anything.
Richard Marx hates him too, Coliseum.
You know
would
who'd be a
him on
great
Twitter.
get right now? Richard Simmons.
And The Perfect Circle. You're correct. Yes.
Richard
Well,
Simmons.
you know what? How about get Joe Cocker back on the show? You know?
He's kind of dead.
You guys, he doesn't care about these people. All he wants is people that were important to him or that he thinks are important people.
It has to give him a
important to
cool
him, though.
factor. It has to.
Like if they were still alive, he would kill for John Lennon. He would kill for, any of those people. He just thinks that that's the most amazing groups. I mean, he's done Led Zeppelin. He's done Rolling Stones, right?
Billy
He-
Joel was responsible for booking a bunch of people on the show. I know that's how he got Springsteen. It's definitely how he got Springsteen. Billy Joel's really good friends with all these. Don Henley's how he got Billy Joel got Henley for him. That's definitely how that's going down.
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, I screwed up. I meant to say Joe Walsh.
David Bowie.
Oh, he'd never come back.
Robert
on
David
again.
Bowie, you would have killed for. Exactly.
I don't consider that birthday show an interview at all.
I'm going to go with he doesn't even know who Robert Smith is. If you said that name to him, he'd be like, who? There's no way he knows. All right, guys. So that's it. It's 10 o'clock. I'm loving that we're done.
Yes,
And
How
yeah,
about Miley
last
Cyrus
thing,
covering Metallica? That'd be pretty
yeah,
cool.
that would be amazing. That would
To
be
Newton, I said that Kurt Cobain would have been the dream thing he never got to do when he died in '94. That was like every time he had anyone Cobain adjacent on, whether it was Courtney Love or Dave Grohl, it was nothing but Cobain questions.
Yeah, but
That
he
would
had
give
no
him the
idea who Kurt Cobain was when he was alive.
He would pretend
None.
to.
Zero.
I know.
No idea.
We know he's a
no
poser.
idea.
Jackie just told us a story. We know who he is.
Yes, of course. A Stuttering John interview would be amazing.
Yes.
Really, he should get together everybody that ever left the show and do like one massive. What would be amazing is if he
Airheads.
let one of us go on, and if he let me come on and ask 10 questions, that would be
You talk about Howard, I hope.
yes,
Yes.
that would be amazing. And then we could all get together and
But
think.
he
about
would lie about all this. It would be pointless.
But she would see right through it. She knows when he's lying now.
I would
Well,
want to
we-
touch his hair.
Yeah, but
I would want to get. I would want to get up close to him. I'd want to study him. Like I'd want to study his face.
Study him.
by the way, is he making out with Keith in that picture? What happened to COVID?
Oh,
Oh,
there's-
please.
no, you
rich
know how that
people-
goes.
Rich, famous people are not icky.
He's
only
allergic to
peasants are
pedestrians,
Really?
right?
Oh.
Clearly.
Covedestrians, he's allergic. That's what he needs shots for. Pedestrians. Can I have a shot for commoners? I think CVS is giving that out. They just started doing that.
A what?
A
What about
vaccine
Elton
for
John? Has he
commoners
ever
for
had Elton
celebrities
John
to
on?
take to stay away from commoners.
We don't know what the latest is with Beth in Paris. Like we think that she's going in January because we've all kind of snickered about it. But you know what? Who knows? I don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So we got nothing.
Well, I mean, there has been no horse sighting in the Paris airport, so we don't. It's not
We'll
there
come
yet.
We'll come back to it as soon as the show.
I got it, Monique. Here's my answer. Here's my answer for the Howard Dream interview.
Okay.
Same profile, same phobia. Barbara Streisand.
Ooh.
She doesn't do interviews though,
She does the Hamptons though.
and she doesn't sing anymore.
Right.
Mm.
No.
They've met each other at Hamptons parties. To me, that's that's in my top 3.
I think he would love to interview like Obama. I think
Yes.
he would love to interview.
But I'm
I
talking
think he'd love
strictly
to have
dinosaur
Trump on.
rockers
Oh, Dinosaur Rock. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there's people that he would love to interview, but
and music. Just say music. We'll say music. We'll say pop rock stars.
we'll say whatever we want to
Yep.
say, but we'll have to save it for next week because I gotta go.
Betting it.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any further discussion at radiogunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Radio Gunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you know when we're doing a new show. Thanks.